Hello and welcome to Easy Money with Don Anders. We have David McKnight here. David McKnight is a best-selling author. A lot of people look to him for tax advice on retirement planning, especially financial advisors. He's become kind of a go-to in the industry. But many of you might know him from his best-selling book and movie, The Power of Zero, The Tax Train is Coming. And so, David, first off, thank you so much. Thank you for doing these videos with us.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So the first topic I want to talk about is what do you think Joe Biden's going to do with taxes? Because I've heard everything from it's going to retroactively go into place backwards all the way to taxes aren't going up in our lifetime. So, as somebody who, is this is what you do every day, right? You're immersed in whether or not taxes are going up. What's your opinion on it?
Well, so we know that with the Trump tax cuts at the end of 2017, that they didn't have enough votes to affect a permanent tax cut. And so they did it through what we call budget reconciliation, which means they could get their tax cuts, but it only lasted 8 years, which means that every year between 2017 and 2026 represents this little window of opportunity within which to take advantage of historically low tax rates. We know that, January 1st, 2026, tax rates are going to return, at least under the current scenario, return to what they were in 2017. And all Congress has to do in order for that to happen is nothing. And, Congress is pretty good at doing nothing. So the question is, are the current tax cuts actually going to expire per the Tax Cut and Jobs Act of 2017? And what we do know is that Joe Biden campaigned on this idea that married Americans making less than $400,000 would not be faced with a tax increase. Single people making less than $200,000 would not be faced with a tax increase. And that is a principal pillar of his platform that he campaigned on. Whatever you think about Joe Biden, I think that Joe Biden is likely to honor that commitment. So what we do know is that Joe Biden does want to reform the tax code. He wants to raise taxes on those making more than $400,000. And so as I look into my own crystal ball, however murky it might be, what I have been predicting is that Joe Biden will, in fact, through budget reconciliation, just like President Trump undertook, he will extend the Trump tax cuts for those people making less than $400,000. So Mr. and Mrs. Joe Main Street America that are currently in the, maybe the 22, 24% tax bracket. This is probably who it's going to affect the most. I think he's going to extend the tax cuts on those Americans for another 8 years, because that's what he has the ability to do under budget reconciliation. So he can extend it for 8 years. So what does that mean? My understanding is that if he undertook that type of tax cut extension, it would not happen until 2022. And so starting in 2022, you would have 8 years of tax cuts, which means you'd have 2022, 2023, all the way up through 2029 to continue to enjoy today's historically low tax rates. Unless you make more than $400,000. If you make more than $400,000, then the crosshairs of the IRS will fall squarely upon your retirement accounts. And you should probably take advantage of historically low tax rates this year before Joe Biden has the ability to push through that type of legislation.
So basically, just kind of summarizing that what you said, so he can extend it for 8 years, right? So he can extend it up to, if he does it next year, up to 2020, which will expire 2009 or 2029. So basically what you're saying is if you are above 400,000, now's the time to get as much into tax-free alternatives as you can.
Right. In fact, I recently did a podcast in which I contrasted the Peter Thiel approach, how he's got his $5 billion in his Roth IRA, to Mitt Romney, who has $100 million in his IRA, And I said, Mitt Romney really has no business having $100 million in his IRA. Why has he not taken advantage of a Roth conversion? Because Mitt Romney will always be above $400,000 of income. He will always be in the highest marginal tax bracket. Why not pay the tax on all that money? Do so at the 37% marginal tax bracket before they go up. It goes up to 39.6 in 2022, which I'm almost certain that it will. So for those people who make, who have a lot of money in IRAs, who will always be in the highest marginal tax bracket, it definitely makes sense to take advantage of tax rates in 2021 before they revert to what they were in 2017, starting in 2022.
So everyone below 400,000, they have between 2015 if nothing happens and 2029, or I'm sorry, 2025 and 2029. I'm living 10 years.
Right. So I would say if you're single and you make less than 200,000, married, make less than 400,000, you're looking at most likely an extension of those tax cuts. Now, I do have to sort of provide this caveat. Because Joe Biden is not really proposed addressing the underlying fiscal liabilities that are driving all of our country's financial problems, and we can get into that maybe in a different segment. What he's really doing by not increasing tax rates on a broader swath of Americans is he's basically kicking the can down the road, and come 2030, it will be even more difficult to address the financial mess quagmire that we've got ourselves into. But that's, I think, a different topic. The point is, for people who are looking to take advantage of historically low tax rates, get their hard-earned retirement savings systematically repositioned to tax-free investments, you've got a window of opportunity. The longer that window of opportunity lasts, the more likely you will stay in a tax bracket that does not give you heartburn as you go through the process of shifting those assets to tax-free.
Well, let's go ahead and we'll stop it here on this topic, but we'll go into the next topic. I'm going to go ahead and link it right up here. We're going to go to the next topic on the fiscal situation that we're in and why the tax train is coming, aka taxes are going up. Thank you so much for watching my video. If you want more information about retirement, investing, making money easy, you can go ahead and click here. Or if you'd like to subscribe, it really helps the channel. And then you also get updates when we release new information. You can click here to do that. Thank you so much. Hope you have a great day.